It explains everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm glad that's not part of this. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cole Wellness Podcast. This is episode 30-something, and I have my good friend Baddi here from Iceland. I can't pronounce his name right. Did I get close?
Very close.
Fucking crushing
so happy
it.
for you, man.
I'm happy for me.
I'm happy for me, actually.
Yeah. Well, that must be tough to have a name that nobody in the United States can pronounce properly and not just go with Bob or something like that. Thank you for driving here from Iceland and taking a week to spend with us. And it's been an adventure already, and we're just getting started. So really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Very grateful for your hospitality. Love hanging out. You know, we've had awesome experiences. You know,
Yeah.
this is one that definitely will not blend in.
That's for sure.
You know, we just did this event with George Bryant in Montana. The event itself was absolutely mind blowing and
Yeah.
you know, so much deeper than kind of expected. It was just, you know, phenomenal.
Yeah. I don't know what I was expecting, but that wasn't it. Yeah. This was different.
I was kind of on the surface expecting marketing and business. you
Yeah.
know.
Same.
But when it started, I really felt like something in my subconscious kind of knew where this was going, and that's why I was there. You know?
Yeah. Oh, this is why we're here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That whole first day was just all things that I needed to hear for my own personal life. Oh, I mean, the whole thing really, but
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
know, something new, something just reaffirming
yeah.
who we are and what we do. And, you know, and then the whole thing in this surrounding I think Montana definitely is on the list of one of the most beautiful places I've traveled. And I've been to quite a few places in the world, and
Yeah.
it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, for a lack of another word, it's just phenomenal.
It really is. Yeah.
Mind-blowingly beautiful.
It's a beautiful place.
And for anybody with, interesting goats, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of goats there. Look, you said we weren't going to talk about that. We're 3 minutes in.
I kind of had to slide that in there, but honestly, coming across those mountain goats on our hike up that, Mount
Yeah.
Ines or what any which way you pronounce that.
Aeneas, yeah.
Aeneas,
Yeah.
you've been practicing.
I've been practicing. I'm just trying to avoid anus.
I kind of like the sound of Mount Anus still, But anyway, yeah, coming across those goats, I that really sort of framed it in for me, that hike. It's coming from Iceland, there's not a lot of wildlife you come across, and the only sort of animal there that was there before man is the Arctic fox, which is tiny. Compared to that. So these wildlife experiences, I absolutely love those.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I love you, man.
Yeah.
I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and we connected first last February,
Yeah.
and it just sort of there was this instant connection that I've just sort of treasured since, and I don't know whether I felt, I think we both kind of felt it right away that we were going to do something together.
Yeah.
You reached out right away wondering whether we can, keep the conversation going in a which way. And it's developing now into something that I believe will be brilliant.
I totally agree.
It's something that I believe will be very beneficial and healthy for us, and hopefully
For others
be able
too.
to help somebody else in the process.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
So we always kind of start the podcast with a piece of gratitude, and this morning I was thinking about something that you and I have talked about a lot this week, which is the gift of being present. And one of the things that I really appreciate about my time with you is it always kind of pushes me to be present. You're a great reminder for me to be in the moment. And when I'm there, it's fucking amazing. You know, like I don't know that I've ever had a bad moment in my life. Yeah. You know, all of my suffering and anxiety and fear and anger and resentment, it always lives elsewhere. It's always in the future. It's always in the past. And when I just stop and slow down for a minute, I'm just having an awesome conversation with a friend, you know, or I'm working with a client, or I'm with my family, or I'm in the most beautiful place in the world. Like none of our moments are really ever that bad. And so the gift and the reminder of just being present has been, you know, it's been about a week now that we've been hanging out. And that has been the number one theme every day, is like just this reminder of like, where are you? You always ask me that. Where the fuck are you right now? Because you're not right here. It's like, oh, yeah, that's right. And so that's a gift, and I really appreciate that about you, because you do an excellent job, and I know it's not perfectly, but you do a really good job of staying present. And as a result of that, that kind of overflows to the people around you. And it really is a gift to spend time together and hang out. And fuck, we've laughed more than I've laughed in a long time about the dumbest stuff, and some of the, you know, had some of the best conversations too. So, but today, grateful for being present and having the tools to get back into the present moment more quickly than I've ever been able to. And that's a lot about kind of what we want to talk about and bring to the forefront in the work that we want to do together, is helping other people access and gain that ability to be in the present moment with themselves. And, but yeah, so that's what I'm grateful for today. How about yourself?
Well, first of all, thank you. You know, it's, I love that. It's, I guess I do it unconsciously in a sense, you know, that otherwise I would be way too conscious that I'm constantly pushing somebody. But I treasure the present. You know, I'm an, you know, very typical ADHD kind of kid, you know.
Yeah.
And one of the superpowers of ADHD is either I'm absolutely not here or I'm absolutely here. And the older I've gotten, and the you know, the more I practiced it, basically, the more I'm here.
Yeah.
And you know, there are all kinds of sort of reminders in life that got me there, and one of them was basically a long time ago realizing that, you know, the only way not to miss my children's growth, you know, not to miss their sort of life stories, was to actually be there.
Yeah.
And, you know, try to be there as much as I can when I'm there. And, you know, I'm definitely not good at it. I just absolutely try my best. And you know, I, just like any other guy or any other person, will have, you know, the typical, excuses. You know, I'm tired, it's been a long day, it's been a blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like I come home after, you know, a week of guiding tours somewhere around Iceland, and you know, I've been talking so much for the last 7 days that I just feel like dozing out, you know, sort of, what do you call it? Like just
checking out.
Yeah, checking out for a while. But the only way to really experience life is right here.
Yeah.
Right in this moment. And just as you said, I've never ever experienced the present as dangerous or threatening or scary. No matter what's going on in my life, if I'm able to just land here, I'm safe.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Even in the midst of something insane, you know, you can still be just perfectly safe right here. So I love that, and I'm actually grateful for that, for the fact that is something that seems to transmit. You know? Yeah. But I was thinking while you were talking that absolutely one of the things that I love about you is the way that you're able to see people and and speak that to them, tell that to them, or whatever the word for that is. So that comes from a place of deep compassion,
mm-hmm.
which really transmits. It's anybody that gets close to you will sense that and feel that, and this authentic, deep longing to be of service, to help, to be of any good in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that, through all the bullshit, through all our insane laughters, and that's basically the sort of the power that comes through.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love. But I also, I've also been thinking about the opportunities that we get in life.
Mm-hmm.
These moments. I've been away from home now for a week.
Yeah.
My wife is home, taking care of everything that needs to be taken care of, and she's absolutely loving my experience over here, and being of full support, and just the fact that that I have this phenomenal relationship, built on deep trust, sort of, and empathy and love. It humbles me, but I'm also just deeply grateful.
Yeah.
We've been together for 27 years, and
wow.
I don't think our relationship has ever been better than it's been the last few years. It just keeps getting deeper and deeper somehow. And one of the bases of that is exactly that. It's number one, trusting each other to, on our journeys, whatever that is. And secondly, to kind of both support it and kind of just push each other into it. It's just like, for years now, whenever either of us has come up with an idea or something that we've been talking about, the response is always just
go.
Brilliant. Go for it. Yeah. That's
awesome.
Good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just like you mentioned, I'm very excited about this course that we're gonna build together, and as you said before, it's it's gonna be more or less just based on the tools that we already have. And while you were talking about that, I was thinking that the fact is that most of that stuff is common knowledge.
Yes.
So knowledge is not the problem. No. Lack of information is not the problem. Consistency is generally what we're dealing with, or lack of consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea how many hundreds of times I've sort of awakened again and like, whoa, I haven't been doing any of my stuff for the last 2 weeks. Where did that go?
No wonder I feel like murdering people.
Exactly. That's why I'm turning cars on fire here. It's like, oh, sorry, was that your car? It's like, So, how do we build the lives? Basically, how do we build the habits we need to live the lives that we want?
Yeah.
Because we all, or most of us, are conscious that we have some kind of dreams or longings or, a life that we want to live and lead. And yet,
how do we get there?
We're not consciously going there.
Yeah.
We're just sort of drifting in the wind somehow and often feeling sad about it, or feeling bad for ourselves that, for our bad luck or whatever. But the truth is that most of us, at least people that I've engaged with in life, we just don't take the controls.
Yeah.
But when we do,
we can get the results. Yeah.
And almost instantly.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
You don't realize all your dreams instantly.
Yeah.
But the man you want to be there.
Yep.
He's instantly there.
It's instantly.
It's phenomenal. Yeah. It's I've been blown away by that so many times, that how little it actually takes.
Yeah.
To completely change your state.
Yeah.
Change your feeling, change your emotions. We can come from a really dark bad, place, and within days or weeks, we're not fully healed. The problem hasn't gone anywhere, or whatever it is, but just a consistent actions for a few days in a row, it just dramatically changes the quality of my life.
Well, and I like that you bring up that it's instantly available to us. Like, it really is. Like, we tell ourselves that things externally need to change in order for us to feel better. But the truth is that we can have peace right here, right now, with nothing outside of us needing to change. And I had an experience that you got to witness the other day where, these unspoken expectations and plans fell apart. And I got into this anxious place, and it was like it literally took moments of just sitting still and practicing deep breath and help and encouragement from you and just sitting in nature, and instantly I was back in the moment.
JP on the rocks.
Yeah, JP on the rocks. That was a great post. But, we think that, oh, no, all of these grand things need to change in order to be okay. But like that piece that, it was funny. We're at that conference, and the second day, everybody was asked to put on their name tag, what do you want? Like, what state do you want? And fucking 65% of the people in there had peace written on their chest. That's really what we're looking for, is just a relief from the chaos that goes on internally and externally, and that is available to us at all times, right here.
Absolutely. Peace, serenity, clarity, it's sort of, for me, all translates to awareness.
Yeah.
That awareness is number one. Without it, I have no idea who I am, what I want, or how I feel in the first place.
Yeah.
And, why does it take consistency? And for me, it basically just comes down to the same thing as anything else. That repetition creates the habit.
Yeah.
And, in the midst of something, anxiety, stress, distress, whatever it is, if I've been consistently doing something for a while, I'll remember that tool in the midst of the whatever comes up. And if I haven't, I'll just be all in the emotion that's going on, with basically throwing away the control. I'll be at the mercy of whatever experience is happening.
Yeah, and now fear is in control, or anger.
It's maybe this is off topic a bit, but when I was young, we both have sort of like this crazy background growing up and all of that, but I sobered up young, and sort of, fast driving and those kind of things became my my
drug of
choice for a while. And one of those occasions, I'm driving like a maniac somewhere in town in Reykjavik in Iceland, and I come around this turn. The road goes down a little bit, which in Iceland often means that there will be ice below. So I come into this part of the road which is icy, and the car just starts spinning.
Yeah.
And, I have no idea how quickly that was happening. But as this is happening, I'm perfectly still, probably from the rush of adrenaline. But I'm, the memory is I'm just sitting there, I'm holding the steering wheel, I'm sort of looking around, am I going to hit this curb, or, that was okay. I'm going across the grass here. And there were 2 lanes coming from the other side, and I'm sort of looking at the traffic coming, and the car is still just spinning in circles. But this whole thing happened like it was in a quiet moment.
Yeah.
And I've often thought about this experience, because even though I didn't choose this at the time, I loved the fact that I have this calm when shit hits the fan, I guess.
Yeah.
whether that's adrenaline or something, I don't, at least at that time in my life, it definitely wasn't from practice or or anything else. But I often think of this moment because in the midst of anything after that, I know we can create that calmness needed to deal with whatever happens.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, I might suffer from lack of drama. But as my wife probably would put it. But we always have the controls if we want to.
Yeah.
And me, like anybody, of course, I will forget about it every once in a while. But the fact is that I honestly believe that there's a lot of real issues, real things, real depression, real anxiety, real all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And we should, in my opinion, we always have to address that with compassion and love and understanding.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I turn the page towards myself, it's my responsibility.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm going through,
to deal with, yeah.
It's my responsibility to deal with it, and it's almost certainly not 100%, but most cases it's because of my choices past.
Yeah.
So I made it, and I have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So this radical responsibility, radical accountability that comes from, amongst other, from the 4 agreements, which we've been talking a lot about in the 1612 program that both of us have been attending. I just love that idea. I love the idea that the accountability, the responsibility is mine.
Yeah.
Number one, because I want to be there for any choice and, the people around me and all of that. But it also gives me the power.
Yes.
If it's your responsibility, I'm fucked.
Yeah. Well, thanks. No, but you're right, though. Yeah. It does give us that power back to say, because I too love that realization, because it's like, I know that if I can be responsible for it, then it's like the saying in the, in the program that, if I'm not the problem, then there is no problem. It's not something that I can deal with. So I'm grateful to be the problem so that there are things that I can do to improve it. Because if it was up to you or anybody else, I can't trust that it would be, able to be adjusted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I had to choose somebody, I'd probably be nicer to be at your mercy than most people, but still.
Still.
I'd like to hold that torch myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you just alluded to it, but we met, I think it's kind of cool. We met through this other mentor program, the 1612 group with Matt Vincent. And I can remember following him on social media. And when they did the trip in Iceland, is I think where they met you, right? And I can remember like looking at their posts about that and being like, man, that's so incredible. And then getting to meet you for the first time and finding out that we have a lot of things in common and being in long-term recovery and all of that. And, I remember that very first meal that we went to, thinking to myself, like, even if I don't connect with any of the other people I'm going to meet at this group in the next couple of days, this would have been worth it just to have that. And then, there's 50 other people that we got to meet that have been positive influences in my life and benefited from. So I just think that that's a cool backstory of how you and I got to meet, and all of the decades of things that had to happen exactly as they had to happen for us to both be in a position where we would say, yes, we want to join this thing with Matt and end up in the same place at the same time. It's kind of a cool thing.
I definitely want to give Matt and Bonnie, both of them the credit for allowing us to be fully authentic. It might sound strange to say it. I don't know if for anybody that doesn't know them, but you have, they are these two phenomenally beautiful humanoids that, they are just brutally authentic.
Yeah.
Always. And that created a bridge for me, sort of. And Iceland is a tiny place. And, I love Iceland. I love the people there. But we are very sort of monotonic. We are, most of us, kind of similar.
Yeah.
It's a very wide country. We all sort of, how should I put it? We're liberal, understanding. We would, most of us would love to have people of all cultures and all that. But the truth is that it's still 90%, 95% white.
Yeah. Growing
up, we were all the same. Everybody had the same, jumpers on. For that winter. Everybody had the same millet, jackets. And I was 11 in my 12th year when we went abroad for the first time. We went to Denmark. And the biggest sort of experience for me of being in another country, or being in Denmark at least at that time, because Denmark was phenomenally liberal already back then, was just sitting downtown Copenhagen, watching all these different types of people walk by.
Yeah.
And nobody was staring, And, different color, different styles, anything. And I don't think I realized at the time, but I realized later on in life that the experience I was having was mostly that, for the first time I saw all kinds of people and they were allowed to be whatever they were,
Didn't seem odd.
Well, the truth is that in Iceland, if you sort of stood out, we would commonly just pull you back in,
It's not okay. Yeah.
And, that's sort of, I think, one of the challenges that small societies often deal with,
Yeah.
And years later, obviously, since I'm a old fart by now, I met Matt and Bonnie in July. I'm not even sure, probably just last year or 2 years ago. And absolutely fell in love with them instantly.
Yeah.
And fell in love with, more than anything, this brutal authenticity where you're just, excuse my language, but just absolutely don't give a fuck about other people's opinion. And I had sort of gotten to that point already.
Yeah.
In the sense that somewhere after 40, I suddenly got to a point where I, lost the fear of other people's opinions.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was still, meeting them opened up a bigger picture for me.
Yeah.
Because even though I wasn't fearing other people's opinion, I was still extremely conditioned by the small society I live in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they just opened up a new dimension somehow in my life that I've absolutely loved and really have dived into since. And my wife has often mentioned how she loves the changes that have been, and
yeah.
I mention my wife because it often takes somebody else to, to really sort of see and understand the changes and what's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's but right now I'm, the two of us were getting to this thing, this course we want to do, and if you don't mind, I maybe just tell a little bit about my backstory of that.
Yeah.
And
please.
My sort of, both of us, we've been actively working in a program for in 12-step program for a long time, helping people out there, and that's something you do out of service, out of responsibility, out of giving back what you were given. But I don't remember what year this was, but when I realized during the time of the Al-Qaeda, the terrorist group there, when I realized that there were young men from Europe going down there to join them.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
Danish, Dutch, or Belgian, boys that live in these basically almost like perfect societies where, you know, everybody's taken care of, and, you know, they were just so goddamn bored.
Yeah.
You know, their lack of purpose had taken them to such a deep place.
Yeah.
That somebody promised them a life with purpose. You know, I don't know if they promised them the 77 virgins or whatever it's supposed to be, but just that somebody reaching out to them and giving them the sense of meaning was enough power to pull them out of these safe lives that they actually had and join a terrorist group or a military or, you know, whatever label they would have put on it. And that sort of, for me, sparked originally the idea that, you know, we need to start helping, you know, men in general. Yeah. Obviously, everybody. But we have the power with our compassion, experience, and et cetera, to work with men. Yeah. And, you know, the rise of anxiety, how badly they're doing in school. There are so many sort of different equations, you know, that have come up in the last decade or so. And for me, all of it seems to boil down to that, you know, the simple lack of purpose, the boredom, not really, you know, having lost the idea of who they are, or, you know, whatever it is. It's just something that has sort of been boiling on my inside for a long time. And I'm driven. I feel driven right now. Yeah. I think as you, to do something, you know, to at least do our best to be of service there too. You know? Absolutely. Yeah. And just like what we were talking about before, I don't think it's that complicated. You know, there's a lot of things that need to be done. Yeah. And a lot of them will take time. But getting to a state of purpose, getting to a state of feeling, you know, a feeling of belonging, it's just a matter of using, you know, a group of tools consistently for a little while. Yeah. So, and connecting to a community that absolutely, you know, that accepts you and greets you, you know. And how necessary that is. And you're right. Like when we try to unpack any major cause, like that's such an acute recognition during that time period of that. Like, what are we missing so badly that men would find that purpose attractive and be willing to completely overhaul their lives in such a way? It shines on this major lack of something in the lives of men. And when we unpack any major thing, whether it's workaholism, alcoholism, drug addiction, or anything that men tend to get distracted with, it is oftentimes something used as a false replacement of, you know, some true sense of purpose and meaning. You know, when I think about things like overworking and all of that, it's like, oh, well, we create these identities around that the man is the provider and blah, 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 and then we get caught up in that narrative, even though we don't necessarily find joy and peace in it. It still gives us some level of sense of purpose. And everyone, I mean, how many stories have we heard over the last couple months of people that I was highly successful on Wall Street, I was highly successful here and in this business and that, and then I realized that that wasn't the thing that I was chasing after, and I left it and just walked away because I couldn't handle it anymore. And this isn't just men, this is women too, but predominantly the thing that we feel passionate about is being able to help other men build community and build consistency with those tools so that they can find a deeper purpose and meaning and can find fulfillment and peace in their lives, so that we can begin to address some of these real issues one person at a time. But yeah, I think all of the distractions that we have are generally just a filler for that. Not feeling that what we're doing is meaningful and useful, and also telling ourselves the story that what needs to be meaningful and useful has to be this huge, extravagant thing. You know, I have to cure cancer, or I have to do this, or I have to,
you know, when it really could be just to be present with our families and with each other and find a group of people that we truly connect with and enjoy just the space that we're in.
And, you know, this is not, you know, I work with women quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I love watching, you know, and participating in any which way I can in the empowerment of women. But I think there's a common misunderstanding there that this is some kind of a competition.
Yeah.
You know, that empowering women somehow takes power away from somebody else. It's,
yeah,
you know,
it's not at all.
No, this is an endless source of energy, if you want to put it that way. So women becoming stronger in some sense, you know, or, you know, the empowerment of women is not against something.
It's benefit for everyone.
It's beneficial for everybody. So men that feel lack of purpose because of that, it's just a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
They didn't take anything.
Yeah, no.
You know, they didn't take anything. And if somebody becoming strong, you know, a strong individual threatens you in some way, you have issues.
Yeah.
And, you know, which can be dealt with, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's about me. You know, if I'm faced with something like that, it's about me.
Yeah.
It's not about, you know, anything else. And you know, I just wanted to address that. You know, we definitely have compassion for both. And you know,
absolutely.
I work with all genders, but you know, but right here, I feel like, you know, we've, at least in Iceland, there's been a lot of focus on helping women, you know, sort of bridging that gap.
Yeah.
And I honestly think we've done brilliantly. There's always more to do, but
sure.
Iceland has done phenomenally well in empowerment of women. But somehow, for quite some time, we forgot about the boys.
Yeah.
You know, the focus was so strong on one side, sort of.
Yeah.
That we forgot about the boys, and maybe it's just time, you know.
Yeah.
Whether it's, and for me, it's not, you know, which sex or you know, which gender or whatever. It's just, I simply just feel driven to do something about this. And,
sure.
And hopefully we can. You know?
Yeah. Well, and what you and I have talked a lot about is not supporting men in the traditional way of be more manly. You know, it very much is how do we be physically capable, emotionally present, and resilient. That's an important thing to me. Like, how do we support men being emotionally present and resilient? That's this missing Pac-Man piece in our culture where we've got all the things for working out and building, you know, our physicality, but where's the thing where we're helping each other truly step into our emotional health and encourage the expansion of that and being comfortable in that? And also to be spiritually grounded. Like, how do we interact with other people? How do we see a sense of purpose and meaning? Where do we fit into the big story, you know, instead of how do we make more money? How do we build more muscle? How do we, you know, that to me that's not at all like what we're talking about, you know? And so I do think that that's this missing piece where I think a lot of places try to create it and kind of fall really short. I've been involved in a lot of different like men's church groups and I never got that experience, you know?
Yeah, we you know, we've talked about this. You know, in my coaching business, I've simply called it 360 coaching, you know, but it's this, you know, the balance between the body, mind, and spirit.
Yeah.
These are the three main pillars of your life. And very commonly, you know, other programs in the past, you know, but also simply just we as people very commonly will forget about maybe one or even two of those three pillars. And not necessarily the same ones, it's different obviously between people. But I honestly believe that if you don't grow them equally, sort of in some kind of a harmony or balance, it's just like a stool with three legs. You know, if one is shorter, it's not going to be a comfortable seat.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, or a comfortable ride or whatever. It's just,
yeah, one leg here.
yeah. So working on your body, absolutely important.
Yeah.
Working on your health, important. Working on your mental health, growing your intellect, absolutely.
It's all important.
And having some kind of a spiritual base, whatever that means to you.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual or mindfulness. There are all kinds of words you can use for it.
Mm-hmm.
I like spiritual for I guess for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think it's vital to sort of state that, put that out there, that life in harmony is the goal, kind of. That's, at least it's been my experience, that I never feel fulfilled and happy if one of those areas is dramatically lacking in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. About that goat. This was getting way too serious, right?
Yeah. Oh man. So, I mean, just kind of teasing. I know we've only got a couple more minutes that we can do this, but we really don't know where exactly this is going. We know that we want to build some courses on helping men in this area, that we're potentially moving in the direction of doing some small groups for people. And we don't know exactly where it's going yet. And I'm kind of fucking excited about that and figuring it out as we go.
I kind of think we know. That's we haven't framed it perfectly yet. But I think both of us have a pretty clear idea of what we want to be doing.
Yes.
What kind of a community we want to create.
You're right.
It's we're both dealing with imposter syndrome, like 98% of everybody. I kind of love that phrase. Let's just get rid of imposter syndrome right now.
Yeah.
Everybody has it. Okay. That's it. But what was the other one I read the other day that I was telling you about, that if you don't feel imposter syndrome, you're probably not pushing yourself.
Oh yeah.
I actually, like that one too. But yeah, we, the exact framework, or the timeline of what we're about to do hasn't been created perfectly. But I think, from our side of sort of compassion and from that dream, we kind of know more or less what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
If anything comes up along the ride as a surprise, fantastic.
So be it.
Let's just embrace it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I feel driven. I feel your drive in that direction too, and so that's sort of that passion, that compassion, that I don't know. I'm lacking words here, but basically, I'm not worried about the outcome.
No.
I think for us it will be definitely beneficial and
guaranteed.
And just if it helps anybody else along the way, it's gonna be a phenomenon.
Even better.
Yeah. I would absolutely just love to see that. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any. At least there's not a lot of things that give me more pleasure in life, but to see somebody's eyes start to shine.
Yeah.
Because there's certainly hope. There's certainly a way, a path.
Yeah.
Our lack of hope is very commonly based simply on not seeing where to go or what to do.
Or that it's possible. Or that was one of the things I thought about this. This past week we were at the Lighthouse Business Accelerator with George Bryant and Whitefish, Montana, and we talked about there were moments where it felt like, why do I get to be in this room? And I know it's because I signed up for it, kind of thing, like
I paid to be here.
Yeah, I paid to be here, but like, I was able to extrapolate so much hope from that experience that, you know, when I got to meet these incredible people, they all started somewhere, and they've just had an idea that they really went all in with and created some phenomenal things that are helping tons and tons of people. And so it instills hope in me to be able to do that thing. And what you just touched on makes me think about, like, one of my favorite speakers talks about, I'm still in it for the big buzz just because I don't use drugs and alcohol anymore. Like, I'm here today because I want the biggest fucking buzz I can get. You know, like, I want as many laughs. I want as many epic experiences. And the big buzz is, there's like one aspect, it's when the light comes on for me and I have that hope, or I have the ability to see like a better life could be created for myself. But then, you know, in my therapy practice, like the big buzz are those phone calls that I get where that, you know, or those sessions where I have somebody come in and it's not just that they feel a little bit better. It's that they're getting to that next place where it's like, this crazy awesome shit is happening in my life, and I'm here because I'm so excited to share it with you, you know. And that I freaking vibrate off of that shit of seeing like other people's lives benefit and improve in a positive way. And so, you know, we talked this week about the difference between that abundance and scarcity mindset and the importance of like celebrating. Like I love when other people win. You know, I love when good things happen to you or Scott or my wife or anybody. Like, man, that fires me up anymore. There used to be a time where I thought about it. It's like, oh, well, if you get $1 raise, it's like, oh man, well, that's $1 less in the universe for me. Like it was some, you know, and it's like that's not the thing, you know?
Scarcity, man.
Yeah. So I really get excited about just overall life improvement for anybody, but I don't know where I was going with that, but I get excited about it. So,
wherever you were going, you were there.
I was there. Scott, how are we on time? Do we need to wrap up?
Yeah, you guys can give it a go.
Okay.
So if I'd like to make a request to Baddi
Yeah.
to sign us out in Icelandic after JP, however you'd like. So JP, go first. And
Okay.
sign us out.
Awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing our space with us for this week. Thank you for being a good friend. I can't believe, like earlier when you were saying, it's only been since February. Like here we are, October, and I look at the last it's only been 8 months. The last 8 months of my life, so much has happened and occurred and experiences have happened in that short time period. I look back and I'm like, wasn't that February of last year? No, it wasn't. It's crazy. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful for this 2-week period that we've had to spend together. I'm looking forward for these several upcoming projects and hopefully some trips to visit you and your family and several trips back here. And I'm just very grateful today for your friendship and your willingness to kind of like just be in space together. That's an awesome gift for me. So I'm very grateful for that. So thank you for being here. We're definitely going to be doing more podcasts together. This was a good buzz.
This was a good buzz. I'm in it for the kick.
Yeah, and the drugs are really kicking in now, yeah. So you can follow us on all forms of social media, Instagram, Facebook, our website. We'll have links to all of our podcasts and such on our website. Why don't you share with us, how can people get connected with you and your coaching services? And you're on Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, they can click the link that will be in below your podcast.
Just click the link below.
Yeah. I could tell you, but it's
Yeah.
people can't barely say my name.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But yeah, there will be a link underneath this, wherever you find this.
Cool.
But yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you too.
While you were talking, it's only been since February, but synergy creates a time warp.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of, and that's actually a really good sign of the amount of stuff that can happen in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah.
If you just put your energy and focus, you know, on that.
Yeah.
It's you know, when you talk about the people that were with us at the event, you know, there are some people there that, you know, they had been building something for a long time, and then they became an overnight success, which obviously isn't the case. They had been, you know, planning and building something for a long time, but when it booms, it happens so fast, and so quickly that it's, you know, it's always like sort of some sort of a miracle, you know, a surreal kind of experience.
Yeah.
You know, but our connection, everything that has been happening since, you know, I saw this morning or yesterday this James Clear quote that, you know, you've heated the ice from 25 Fahrenheit to 31 and you feel like a failure, you know, it's still ice, you know, you wanted water, but you're only 1 degree away from the success. So everything you've been doing, you know, so there is a build up, you know, but when the synergy happens, there's some magic, you know, it's when 1 + 1 becomes 3 kind of, you know, it warps. But yeah, it's same experience for me the last, you know, few months. Just as I said before, I'm not even sure when I met Matt and Bonnie for the first time. It probably is last year, you know. It feels like years ago, but it has catapulted me as a person to a new position or new place. Yeah, you know, I'm still me, but I'm a much sort of freer, some kind of version of me, which I absolutely, you know, treasure and love, and I know the people around me do too, because I'm able to be authentically more of me anywhere, you know, without the fears, without the, you know, all the complications that come with codependency and all that bullshit. But I absolutely love being here. I'm so grateful, you know, for you and Julie's hospitality. It's just, you know, it's phenomenal. It's difficult for an arrogant bastard like me to be carried that way, you know, but at the same time, it feels absolutely wonderful. But yeah, it's in my mother language. Ég elska þig. Ég er hrikalega þakkláttur fyrir að hafa fengið að hitta þig og kynnast þér og hanga með þér. Og þetta mun leiða okkur geggjaðan stað. Takk fyrir mig.
What he said. Awesome.
Whatever he said.
I love you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right. See you next week.